times a week. Finally found a nice recipe that my wife cooks for me. Um, yeah, it is, Omar, no doubt we are in an unprecedented situation. I've told the press there is probably no one in our few generations in the business today who have had any experience in anything like this. I mean, the last time something so globally influencing happened was probably World War II, if not World War One. So I've been reading a lot of analysis, a lot of predictions, a lot of research results, and they're all over the place. Okay. Um, Today, Site launched my latest article. You can find it on the Site website on Motivate. And I talk about the story of Chicken Little, which is an old fable that some of us older people might remember, of how something falls from the sky, hits the head of a chicken, and he goes around telling everybody the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And everyone buys into the same thing, and panic creates. I think the situation today is very similar like that. You have tourism is a very large conversation. There's inbound, outbound, domestic, hotels. But when I specifically talk about MICE, I think the conversations are predominantly very negative, and that will hurt us. Okay? I don't think the activities we do, be it meetings, association events, or incentives, will stop. They will continue. I will explain later why I feel that, but they will continue. I think the clients are very confused right now, and rightly so, because I don't know how it is for you folks in Turkey, but I live in a country of 1.3 billion people, fourth largest economy in the world, and everything has stopped. I mean, I had to get a haircut from my wife at home, and by the time she tried it, I said, okay, you know what, just take it all off. I can't go on a webinar with the way you did it. Everything has stopped. And we know tourism in general has been at the front, and it will probably be the last to recover. But everything down the line has been affected. So our clients, the pharma companies, the FMCGs, the insurance companies, everybody's just sitting back trying to figure out what to do. And what they do next will depend on us as much as it does on them. What we say, how we react, and what is the confidence that we give. That's what I would say to start with, Omar.
Okay. In the meantime, I forgot to tell you in the very beginning, please, there will be, at the end of the session, there will be a questions and answers, hopefully. But in the meantime, you can ask your questions in the chat board. This will ease the process, and if it is related to the topic, we can address it right away. Okay, thank you, Reggie. So you think that our clients at the moment is kind of confused, and it will depend on us how we react basically on their actions. Neslihan, thank you for joining today. Neslihan, you have a long experience in the industry, almost 20 years, and on top of that, you have like 15 years of experience in the banking industry, which gives you another different look. And then you've been in your company, you've been dealing with many meetings from 10 people to 1,000 people, and many of them, hundreds of them in a year, corporate meetings. So I would like to ask you the same question to you. How are our clients are forecasting at the moment? You know, what is their intention to do in terms of meeting in the short run? What are their action plans? What are they going to do with the postponed meetings? Can you elaborate on this, please, for us?
Hi, everyone. This is Neslihan. I'm very glad to be here today. And, you know, I wish I was in the banking business still. Yeah, just joking. I can say what happened for the last 1-2 months first with our clients. Most of our clients are international companies, so I believe the measures they took here are on global level, so not only in Turkey, all over the world, we can expect that. First came the international travel bans, then followed the local travel bans. So what we saw was the cancellation of incentive trips or any meetings that involved traveling. The first ones to be canceled were them. But we still have incentive groups for late summer or the early autumn. They are not canceled yet. About the meetings side, you know, everybody's working from home now and they are meeting online all the time. So there were no need for physical internal meetings and they were the ones canceled also. What is left, the customer events, the large events. In March, we saw our clients postponing their March, April, May events to June 1st. Then to September, October. But when the pandemic's impact grew deeper than we expected, they started canceling all the events for the 2020, for large events I'm talking. For our customers, I don't know if anybody is experiencing the same thing. The larger events were not replaced with online events. They just canceled. They didn't want to turn them into online events. They are postponing them to 2021. I think they don't want to take the risk to make an event besides the health issues. If they hold an event and if anything goes wrong, if anybody gets infected, this is a really large risk that nobody will take. Publicity, legal issues maybe, so nobody is taking that risk. Another thing, if they take this risk and make an event, then we don't know about how many attendees will come. Will the sponsors be sponsoring? Will any speakers come to join the live meeting? So this is also a financial risk for them. And these are understandable, so this is all what we expected from our clients. As I told you yesterday, we had a survey among our clients and many of them answered. We asked them about their meeting plans. What are they going to plan? As Rajiv said, nobody knows actually. I mean, these are all wild guesses. If anything changes with the pandemic in a positive or negative way, their reactions will change. They said, almost all of them said, the larger events will be held in early 2021, not this year. But we may see smaller events this year in 2020, the final quarter of 2020, we may see some smaller events. So.
Okay, thanks for the feedback. So what you're saying is, especially for the large events, is kind of a standby situation for our clients. As we did last time, we prepared some polling questions. I think it's time to ask this question for you guys. Appreciate if you can just join to this question and answer. The question is, when do we really start again for both corporate meetings and incentive groups? So answers are not before 3 months, between 3 to 6 months, and not before 2021. Oh gosh, 2021 is going ahead. All right. Okay, wow, still coming. You can still vote. Another 15 seconds. Okay. Thanks for joining. 84%, 86%. I think that would be enough. So I'm just sharing it with you. Okay, what you say is basically you all think, most of you are thinking that the meetings will start not before 2021, as well the incentive groups. Okay, thanks for the feedback. So let me continue with you, Neslihan, if I may. So we talk about the large events, you know, and I know you also organize quite a bit of them for your clients. What is going to be the future for large events? You know, is it going to be replaced with virtual events or something else? And most importantly, how would you handle to this? Obviously, there will be a drop in the demand, and how would you handle this drop? You know, how are you gonna market? How are you gonna promote these large events with your clients again?
Okay, I think this pandemic doesn't look like anything we experienced before. During the history, of course, we had deadlier pandemics, but then our ancestors didn't have social media. And recently, we also had some deadly outbreaks, let's say SARS, Ebola, but this time they weren't as widespread as this one. So I personally think the trauma will be bigger than ever. And I think the trauma will stay with us a little bit longer than the virus itself. So I think this will change things. If not for forever, for a very long time, this will change things. What will change? Yeah, we all know everybody's talking about virtual events now, but after the pandemic is somewhat taken under control, I think people would, of course, would like to come back together, to speak face to face, to be there physically. So I think the live meetings will have a great comeback when everything is fine again, but it will come back with a twist. This twist is the hybrid events. This is what I'm talking about all the time for the last month, because our clients want to give the option of virtual events for their participants who don't want to come there physically. And I think we should be supplying this demand. We should be providing this virtual part as well, together with the live event. And it should be as good as the live experience. So I think we should start focusing more on event technologies. So event technologies are going to be a major part of our services in the coming future, I believe. It was already becoming important in the recent years, like RFIDs, like event applications, registration systems, and it will be more in our lives. But together with the live events will be there in our lives after everything is going back to normal. Another thing is the health and safety part, this huge demand for health and safety. You know, in times of life-threatening events, humans shift to survival mode. Fear dominates our decisions, our actions. When we decide on something, we decide on the basis of survival. So nobody cares now how a great experience we are offering them, how creative we are. They are concerned about their health. Can I enter and exit an event, a venue, without getting sick, without something happening to me? Did the agency care about my health? Did they take the necessary precautions when I come here? these will be their questions. So we need to be fully committed to this health and safe issue for a long time. We need to show our clients that we care about them. We took the necessary precautions. We need to prove this. And I think if we do an event proving that it worked, it will open the way to other events. We need to do this in a successful way. This is something very important. And I think this will stay with us at least a year. As I said, I believe the trauma will stay longer. Even after the pandemic is over, I think 1 or 2 items are going to be in our event checklist for a longer time. We asked this one also to our clients, and they said yes, even if the pandemic is over. For example, masks, for example, disinfectants. They want them to be present in the event area. Some of them also said social distancing should stay, but I don't know how long will it stay. So these two, I think, will be at least the short future of the events, the hybrid events and health and safety.
Great. So what you say is actually as an event planner, we have to improve our knowledge in the other areas, not only for the meeting itself. So Rajiv, how would you elaborate on this? What would you say, add on Neslihan, what she said about the large events? And also, right after that, what is your idea of incentives in the future? You know, are we going to handle the new way or new idea of incentives under this pandemic?
Thanks, Omar. You know, tuberculosis, TB, affects 10 million people a year in the world. It's also a communicable disease. The concept of meetings, doing things in groups live, has been around for thousands of years. It's not a recent invention. I mean, the oldest university in the world was founded in India thousands of years ago. People meet. The need for human beings to hug, shake a hand, say hello to each other is wired into our DNA. You cannot change that. The human is an animal. All animals have inherent and intrinsic traits which are not easily changed by laws and regulations. We're just wired to travel. And I feel the pent-up demand to travel is tremendous. Yesterday, Carnival Cruise says we're launching our ships in August, and we've already got ships sold out. There are reports out of the US saying 82% of people want to travel immediately. Now, fine, those may be on the leisure side, but I do believe what happens in different segments of tourism is transferable from a human behavior. I don't think leaving a seat empty between 2 seats on an aeroplane makes sense or will work. I don't think creating gaps on lines will work, and I don't think they're enforceable. It doesn't work. You see it in your country, you will see all these funny images coming from my country. All circles on the ground, people left their slippers over there, and they're all sitting on the side gossiping. We are just, I mean, and this is what I tell people, Turkey and India are more similar than dissimilar. And I'm pretty sure your local mass population doesn't give a damn about being separated. And it doesn't matter whether you're very high end in the CEO hierarchy or you're just a factory worker. We all think and behave the same. So I don't think extreme regulations are going to make a difference. MICE events, meetings or incentives or congresses, whatever it is, are not a travel product. They are a product to create and grow business opportunities. Okay? Can an association retain its membership? Can an association survive just by charging and giving online access to a website? All associations make money to run, to survive through events. I mean, why will anyone join an association just to get a login to a website? It doesn't make sense. Will exhibitions and trade shows stop? How can you show a new car? How can you show new machinery? How can you show new textiles? I mean, if people think Zoom calls and websites and emails were the solution, we've had those for a long time. If those were the solution, Germany today would not be the most powerful nation in the world when it came to trade shows. I mean, every major city in Germany has built an economy across the messes. Okay. So I don't see those changing short term. We are going to see maybe some new rules on how to go in, some regulations. You in Turkey have what we have in India. Before you go to a hotel, you have an X-ray machine and you have a metal detector. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I walked into a hotel or a shopping mall over here and did not have a metal detector. It became a way of life. Will washing your hands with gel before walking into a meeting be the new norm? Fine. Will they using that silly gun, which I don't even think works, to check your temperature? Fine. Can you really make people sit away from each other? No. So I think it's going to come back sooner than we expect. Now, when it comes to incentive travel, I know, yes, incentive travel is about only 25% of all incentives given. You can replace it with merchandise, you can replace it with rewards, you can replace it with cash. But the opportunity here is for companies to offer a structured, more controlled, and safer opportunity to travel. That, to me, is going to be very attractive to the average employee. Versus Umar going and buying a trip from any local travel agency and not being sure where he's going, what is going to happen, and is the driver washing his hands, yes or no? Here's an opportunity for a pharma company ABC to say, we're going to take you all to India because India is truly the best incentive destination in the world. And you're going to be there for 7 days, and this is what we're going to do. And we've checked everything. I think, as I said, the pent-up demand to travel is strong. This episode with the virus has given us, in some ways, time to think. Yes, time to think as companies, as organizations, as businesses, as trade bureaus, but it's also given us time to think as human beings. We're all forced, for the lack of a better word, to spend time with our loved ones, with our families, with our parents, with our children. They've all been forced to stay apart from those activities which gave us love. And I think the first thing people want to do is get out and enjoy life. I think incentive industry there, the incentive travel industry over there has an opportunity to make some very positive sounds. Okay. Well, no incentive travel stop people getting on airplanes? No. Will the lack of incentive travel shut down hotels? Will people not go to hotels? No. So if all the tourism facilities and infrastructure is going to be used in one way or another, why not for incentive travel? People ask me, but oh, the liability, you know, it's a big risk. It's okay for Neslihan to go on a personal vacation to wherever she wants to go, but then Neslihan has to take 100 people. Is it safe for Neslihan? You get waivers signed. You tell people, look, we as the company are doing the best we can. We have done whatever we can. This is completely optional because end of the day, incentive travel is optional. You're not forced to go on an incentive trip. You desire to go on an incentive trip, and that's why you work extra hard. So I don't see the restrictions. And as I said earlier, the restrictions or the barriers in many ways are in our heads. We're listening to so much media. We're listening to so many webinars and so many confusing signals. I mean, I can listen to a webinar at breakfast time talking about the world is coming to an end. At dinner time is that how everything is going to be awesome. And nobody's right. So I think MICE is going to come back strong. There will be structural changes on the ground. Now, different countries will react differently. We in Asia, I mean, there's a reason countries like India, Singapore's, the Hong Kongs, the Thailands of the world have lower death rates and lower cases of the virus per capita, because we have been used to handling communicable diseases for years. India eradicated polio. India eradicated smallpox. We've had this shit every year for every year. Now, this situation is slightly different because the white world got it. If Italy had not messed up, the conversation today would be very, very different. You know, so I think opportunities are there. Asia is going to be a great market for incoming and outgoing. I think destinations which will avoid some of the hotspots. I could fly Americans straight into India 7 times a day from different parts of America. Okay? Can Istanbul airport say, no matter who comes into Istanbul airport, it is going to be the cleanest airport in the world. You can eat off the floor. So don't worry about what's happening in the rest of the country. Turkish Airlines can make it clean for you and fly to any. So, I mean, that's my take, Omar. Again, I'm not going to say I'm right. I'm not going to say I'm wrong. It's a personal opinion based on my 25 years of experience and observing how people behave, because I want to remind everybody, the most defining moment for travel in our living history for everyone on this call was 9/11. After America was bombed, the attitude of people over there, and that spread elsewhere, was, you know, what the hell? If it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. Let's go and travel. People adapt to new situations. And I think people will adapt to this. And as long as we create that infrastructure and that environment and that thoughts, we'll win. That's what I feel.
Thank you, Rajiv. It's well said. As you said about the 9/11, Fehan already sent a message that she's saying that we have lived through September 11 and travel, and the styles have changed afterwards. I think we eventually find a way to deal with COVID-19 as well. I agree with you, Fehan. And also what you said, Rajiv, it's, I think there is a high opportunity here, distinguish ourselves as the event managers, as the EMCs, between worse and good in the eye of our clients. So, just to sum up, I think I can sum up in a way that everybody can join. I can ask another question in terms of the future meeting types. So what will be the future meeting types after COVID-19? I'm launching the poll now. Well, interesting results. I can share it now. A lot of people think that face-to-face as before is going to be there, 36%. Hybrid meetings seems to be strong, 56%. And on the online is only 8%. In terms of hybrid meetings, let me share with you that the recent discussion that I have done with a large PCO, they haven't canceled many of their congresses. They have postponed congresses obviously from 2020 to 2021. But instead of canceling it, they have opened new lines for online as well. So they are doing at the moment, they are organizing many of their European congresses as hybrid meetings. So participants, they have the opportunity to join in online as well. So there'll be, I think there are new opportunities out of this. Okay.
Can I say something here, Omar?
Sure, please.
I think everyone on this call is from the supplier side. Am I right, Omar? Almost?
Yes.
Okay. I think this is an opportunity for us to work together. Hotels will be stupid if they don't fight like dogs and cats to convince the client to come and stay in hotels. No one on this call wants Zoom to make money, because Zoom, for the lack of, is our enemy. I mean, this is where the DMCs, the agencies, the hotels, the airlines need to work together. And I had this call with someone out of Brazil yesterday. If we don't work together, I mean, we need to brainwash the client. It's marketing. I mean, it's just pure marketing. And I think we will find opportunity in making the hotels, listening to the hotels, because they're going to go after every corporate. Please come and meet in our Congress Center, in our convention hall, in our ballroom, and use our rooms. You know, and I think that's going to be a powerful force, especially for us on the DMC side.
Correct. Okay, thank you, Rajiv. Let me go to the next question. Neslihan, I would like to start with you. In terms of the destination itself, how are our clients going to choose their next destination? What will be the selection criteria for large meetings as destination? Neslihan, we cannot hear you. Okay, I'm just.
Okay. Now it's okay.
Yeah.
Now you can hear me.
Yes.
Okay, for the short time period, not in the long run, I think local travel and closer destinations will be much more preferred. Maybe destinations that we can go by car rather than flying. Maybe less crowded cities rather than big metropoles. But this will be in the short time. International travel will definitely come back gradually. And when it comes back, besides the health and safety issues that we just already discussed, something is also important, I guess. It is easy entrance and exit to the country, to the host country. I mean, what will be the flights? Will the airlines fly there? How often they will fly? We don't know that yet. So as Rajiv said, we have to work together. Also, border regulations, visa procedures. Maybe countries should turn to online visa procedures. I don't know. Easy entrance will be important when people decide. We may see some, this is, I think, extreme, but immunity passports asked by some countries. I don't know. We may see some bilateral agreements between countries that they trust each other in taking the necessary measures, and their citizens can travel between those countries easily, like a Schengen region. I don't know if this will happen. So, and entrance easy will be something important, I guess, when deciding about the destination in the 1 year period, maybe, not for the long run.
Okay. How about you, Rajiv? What do you think about this concerning the incentives?
Okay, you know what? So in India, we have about 9 or 10 million incoming and 26 million outgoing. So that's 26 million that we're all going to try and attract. It's very hard. For any of you who have dealt with Indian clients coming to Turkey, you know how they behave. Definitely domestic tourism is going to rule in all countries. And domestic tourism can mean just within the country or can mean regional. We're already hearing about travel bubbles coming up in Europe, in the Asia Pacific. How that will come about, I don't know. My advantage of India is the sheer size of the market. Therefore, you know, they estimate already there's 1.3 billion unique visits a year within the country. So there is that base. It's a tough one. I mean, Neslihan is right. We can say anything we want as suppliers, buyers, and sellers in the travel community. How we react next will also depend on where airlines will be allowed to fly. Do we need new passports, new visas? Do we need a vaccination, which I'm hopeful will come out in the next 3 months. India has already started producing the vaccine at the largest pharma company in the world down in West India. So there's a lot of unknowns that will still have to be answered that will, I mean, the smallest thing can just simply restrict our ability to take passengers across. I think destinations need to retrain themselves on what to sell on. We have been badly hurt as people across the world inside. Will destinations do better from making a softer sales pitch? Come and visit India because it's a journey of the senses. Come and visit Thailand because of the spa. Come and visit Turkey and enjoy the serenity of Cappadocia. We may not be able to sell on the physical convention room size, ballroom aspects, the 500-room hotels. Maybe that's no longer going to be a selling point. Maybe your softer point, because if you're going to risk to travel, you want it to be meaningful, inside, just not a cold trip. There's just too many unknowns, and I think every destination, every company, every client will find their own meaning on what is going to take them on that journey. There's no one size that fits all.
Correct. Correct. I personally think you're right. Okay. At this point, let me ask this this question. About the incentive destinations popularity. Do you think typical incentive destinations, this can also apply for the large meetings as well? Rome, New York, Barcelona, London will be popular as before as after COVID-19. Okay, it's coming out. Good. They will be popular as before. Let me share. They will be popular as before, 59%. They will lose popularity, 38%. No idea is only 3%. I personally think that as Neslihan mentioned, and as well, although it's difficult to judge, but I think they will lose some sort of popularity, and there will be some new destinations popular with after this COVID-19. Okay, let me move on to the next question, Neslihan. I would like to ask you again. I mean, you have mentioned there are some insights, but how about our future as the DMC or event organizer? What is our tomorrow? I mean, how are we gonna survive? What we need to do to survive eventually?
I think we need a crystal ball for this.
You are the crystal ball.
Yeah, okay. Let me give a minute. Okay, our future, to state once again, I don't believe it is fully virtual. That's not going to happen. I don't think so. At least in this century, I hope. it will not going to happen. What we believe is our business is not meeting management only. It is also and mostly tourism. And as Rajiv also stated, tourism will not die. It is covering 10% of the global GDP, tourism. It's a very driving factor for all of the world. It's motivation. And in the history, in other crises, it has proven to be the major drive to global recovery. So it will do it again, I believe this. It will take some time, but we will see those. It will make a big comeback, I believe this. Some things will change, but some things will never change. Human urge for traveling, for personal experience, for meeting new people, for shaking hands, these will not go away. For the meetings, everybody was deciding upon the destination, the venue, the catering, the crowd attending when attending a meeting. And they were looking for the experience, and this will come back. This need for experience will definitely come back. And when it comes back, we need to be there, offering this experience again, but in a healthier and safer way, with a mask perhaps, I don't know, and with the virtual option available. So
Perfect.
We will be here.
So I told you, you're the crystal ball. We need to be there because the answer is there. When everything comes back, we need to be there. We need to be there, there in our best situation, best position. Rajiv, what do you think?
I think this virus is unfortunately going to hurt a fair number of players on all sides in travel. Has already. Okay, there have been insolvencies, bankruptcies, there have been job losses. But I think this is an opportunity specifically for the DMC community to show their value. I know mostly wherever DMCs were involved, clients got back refunds. Clients were saved from hotels. Clients were saved from restaurants. Okay. The American Society of Travel Advisors, formerly travel agents, for a long time had a very interesting slogan, which I always liked. Without a travel agent, you're on your own. Now, I tell a client, I am living in India. I work with these hotels, venues all the time. You really think you coming in with one group is going to get that level of connection, service, and special treatment? No. And I know so many of you Turkish DMCs, and I know your system and my system is very similar. When Hassan makes a call, when Fehan makes a call, the hotel listens, the hotel stands up and salutes, and there's a hug and a kiss. Same happens in India. And I think that's where we need to express our value, because it is value. It's not marketing mumbo jumbo and bells and whistles. It's a real value because we, as suppliers, invest a great deal in relationships where we live and where we work. And we use that goodwill and those relationships to get the best for our clients. Now, will every client believe this? No. Because we all get frustrated when a hotel when a corporate says, "Oh, I will only book directly." Why will you book directly? Because I like control. I've had live cases. A live case I remembered 4 or 5 years ago. American Legal Association decides to do book a conference in India. Over our recommendation, books the hotel directly. 3 weeks later, after signing the contract, sends me an email. "Oh, can you help us? They're not responding to our emails anymore, calls." I said, "Why?" "Oh, we have the contract. Send me the contract." I looked at the contract. Hotel was charging them $500 to put a table outside the room of the ballroom, door of the ballroom. I mean, we fell down laughing. I mean, come on. That would never happen. You don't charge for putting a table outside the door of a ballroom. Ultimately, the client paid us $25,000 to manage the hotel despite booking it directly. You know, so we all have those stories where we add value. And I do think I'm a DMC. Of course, I'm biased, but I know what my brothers and sisters across the world do for the clients, and I know how much they can do. I would not book something, even this being a good professional, knowing how it works. I would be stupid to book something overseas all by myself and not use a friend. So I think opportunities are there for DMCs or meeting planners.
Correct. Correct. I have some comments here from Janet. She says the importance of DMC will be more important than ever, which we agree. From Zainab, masks with company logo on it below gift ideas. I totally agree too. You guys, you didn't touch base the technology at all. You know, how much do we need to invest in the technology? You know, as industry, you know, as DMCs, as event organizers. Are we okay with that? Are we up to date? What do you think, Rajiv?
I think technology is out there. It's been out there for a very long time. I mean, the likes of Cvent and all these guys have worked very hard to try to get the brick and mortar suppliers out of business, to try to get the incentive and meeting agencies out of business. It hasn't worked. Technology is an enabler. Technology is a tool. Technology is not a replacement. I mean, we are seeing today telemedicine, okay? I've had to get some checkups done for myself or my mother. It's on a phone. You see the doctor. Is it the same thing? Absolutely not. You know, yeah, and we all hate Zoom right now. So I don't think technology. There's nothing more you can do. I mean, virtual meetings, virtual trade shows has been around for a long time, but they never succeeded, and they won't succeed.
Okay, thank you, Nessia.
Yeah, I believe the same. As I said, technology will be with us for the rest of the time, but just to create an option for the clients who want hybrid events. So it will be, as Rajiv said, it will be a tool, not the real thing.
Replacement. No,
yeah.
Not a replacement. It will help us to grow our business. It will help us to ease our business, but not to replace our business. Okay. We are good at timing. My last question, an unorthodox one. So now we look at the situation with the SWOT. We all know the threats very well. So what would be the opportunity out of this situation, if there is any? What do you think, if there is any opportunity, what would it be? Let's start with Rajiv.
Omar, for the first time in our living history, the rat race has stopped. There are no clients to be won. There are no clients to be lost. There are no groups to be booked. There are no groups to be moved around. There's no pressure of missing an airport transfer. There's no stress of putting a gala event. We have a very unusual, airy, unforeseen sense of peace in our lives. Okay, which I am enjoying. Am I worried about my business? Absolutely. I have 175 people. I'm trying to keep them employed. But there's an emptiness which we've never experienced before. And everybody in the world has the same emptiness. Okay, so there's no competition. This is the opportunity for us as destinations, as segments of the trade to get together and work on a common plan. It's very hard. Okay, I have no unity in India between the hotels and the DMCs and the airlines and whatever. We have worked together to get government benefits, which we're still trying like you guys are. But I think the opportunity here is to work together as an industry and create a common platform to market our destinations. To me, that's the biggest opportunity. Apart from what we can do individually at companies for becoming better, training and all that stuff. But as a destination, that is.
Correct, correct. Nessia?
Yeah, I agree with Rajiv. This is why I think we are here together today.
Correct.
To cooperate and to share ideas. One opportunity is the obvious need for expertise and proficiency, as we talked earlier. If I'm taking an incentive group to India, I will be much more comfortable with an expert DMC there that has a proven track record. If I'm organizing a customer event, I would definitely be much more comfortable and save with an expert meeting management agency. So we have to put ourselves there and say everyone that we add value to what they do. I totally believe it's stupid to do these things by yourself online, anything. So we need our expertise and proficiency. This is one. Another thing, like as I'm an economist, so I sometimes look things in this way. So the world solved the problems of depending on only one country for the supply chain. This is China. And they started thinking about shifting their productions, their trade to other countries. Countries like India, countries like Turkey. I think I heard that Apple will transfer its operations, 30% of its operations to India. Is that correct? I don't know. So there will be an increase in the production industry and trade in our regions. And this will also increase the business travel, the meetings, the trade shows. So I can see a big opportunity, a regional opportunity here, if this happens. That's it. And also our clients will be pickier to choose agencies, I think. And honesty, integrity, being socially responsible, and much more being flexible, being resilient, and financial strength. These will all pay off, I think, when our clients will choose their new agencies. And I told you yesterday, one of the famous Turkish business persons said that the ones who can keep their breath under the water for the longer will be the ones who will come back even stronger. So we are holding our breath.
Okay, guys, don't try this in your houses, you know.
No, but I think what Neslihan said is right. Neslihan, I'm also an economist by my education, and my wife is an economist, was an economist by work also. What has not been discussed yet is that the global supply chain is going to change forever. That is going to create opportunities, as Neslihan said, of new factories, new workforces, new ways to motivating those new workers in Mexico, in Vietnam. And that is going to add volume of clients in the global system for us to track, because all of a sudden, I mean, it's right. People are, 2 days ago, our Prime Minister made a new policy announcement, basically which says go local. They have already ordered that all defense forces canteens that supplying the defense forces will start selling only Indian-made goods made in India from the 1st of June. And a lot of us are supporting that. It's not very different from Mr. Trump's Make America Great Again. But it is going to be a new mantra everywhere in the world. China is going to lose. Will it lose everything? Absolutely not. But I expect it to lose 25 to 40% of its manufacturing to other countries, because it will be a very stupid white man who keeps everything in the Chinese basket. This has shown us, this virus has stopped everything. We can't afford to let that happen again.
Correct. Okay, I have one more polling question. Let me share this with you before we finish. Do you think our companies, like our industry, EMC's event companies, are digital enough to maintain new normal after COVID-19? Okay, I'm ending the poll now. I think it's one more second. Okay. We all think that we are okay, but we need to update us a little bit more. Only 8% think that we are all good. 31% no, we are not ready yet. Okay, I think we have done a good job in terms of timing. But there is, I want to do a last words, or let me look at the questions. There is one question from Jeanette, and there are some comments on that. Importance of DMCs will be more important than ever. I think we all agree on this. Okay, from Jeanette again. Do you think hotels will be still DMC's biggest competitor as before? Is the COVID-19 opportunity to convince the customers and users using DMCs? Rajiv, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, I think at least what I see in my country is that I have very few director of sales with gray hair. So a lot of the people are very young, very little work experience, and their runway is, how do I ensure my targets are met for the next 6 months and I save my job? If you recall people we used to work with when we started the industry, a lot of them are not necessarily in the industry anymore. I think the hotels need to be reminded that relationships matter. And as much as they may need us in the next 1 or 2 years, Hassan makes a comment that they will forget us once things start becoming bad. So it's a new normal, a new foundation that we need to lay, and tell the hotels, you know, everyone needs to survive. Everyone needs to let's live and work together. Why are we competing and letting the end client take advantage of us? Nobody wins.
No.
You know, it's going to be interesting.
All right. So your last words, Neslihan.
Okay. I'm a little bit new with this Zoom thing. I'm a Teams person. So last words, we will be here, tourism will be here, and we are holding our breath. That's what I can say.
Holding our breath. Rajiv?
Yeah, I think I like Neslihan's term. Those who can hold their breath the longest will survive. I mean, geez, I'm going to really have to hold my breath. Look, stay positive. Shit happens. You folks are living in a country. I remember when I came and spoke for the first time to the site chapter about crisis management. I think I've spoken in your country 2 or 3 or 4 times at various events. And the first time I spoke about crisis management was either in Cairo or Istanbul, one of the two. But I said, you know what? When I joined the business, the first thing I saw after 3 months of joining the business 25 years ago was the plague. I've seen plague, I've seen earthquakes, floods, terrorism attacks, blah, blah, blah. Your country is no different. You've been going through very, very hard times in the last few years. Yet every time I meet you folks, you're still smiling, you're still upbeat. Are you depressed and complaining? Yes. Do you love to talk about your politics? Absolutely. We Indians and you guys are very similar. But you haven't lost hope, and there's no reason to lose hope now. I mean, it is what it is. You can't do anything about it, but doesn't mean you can't make sure the future is better. What happens in the future is in your hands, our hands. It hasn't been written yet, you know. So work on writing your future, the future of your industry, and hope that next time we have this call, we're talking about how can I convince all of you to bring groups to India. Excellent. No sales pitch, that was it.
No sales pitch, no sales pitch. But I have to do a sales pitch now. Okay, guys. Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you, Neslihan. It was a pleasure to be with you and sharing your thoughts, your views. It was really valuable for us. I really enjoyed myself. I hope everybody enjoyed. Well, my last words. I like what you said, Rajiv. Rat race has stopped. We really deepen. We really need to take this as an advantage. I know we're all worried. We're all company owners. We're all the leaders of the teams. We're worried. We are worrying that everything is going to go away. And I agree. But we have to look from the bright side, as Rajiv says. You know, we have to take this as an advantage. We have to deepen our expertise. We have to be more agile and ready for the good days. This is the best we can do at this moment. And I personally believe that things are gonna go better. I know there's no you know, magical stick that you touch and everything is gonna normal. It will not gonna go normal as before, not soon, but we will go normal. And then we need to be ready at that moment. So thank you for joining. This is the second round. I'm hoping that we will be able to do the third one, and it will be the last. And then we'll be much busier at that time. We won't have any time to listen to these webinars. Until then, stay strong, stay healthy, and thank you for being here this morning. Bye bye.
Shukar, everybody. Stay well.